How to plant bare root redcurrants. Redcurrants are easy to grow and enjoy a cool climate, so they do well in the colder and northern areas of the UK. Redcurrants can be bought as bare root plants, meaning they come without any soil around the roots. And bare root plants are only available while they are dormant. When buying plants in person, it is best to select 2 to 3 year old bushes with a head of 3 to 5 main branches and a clear stem of 10 to 15 centimetres. There are many varieties to choose from, offering different sizes of fruit, ripening times, shade tolerance and disease resistance. Good varieties to choose from include Rovada, Jonkheer Van Tets and Red Lake. I decided to go for Jonkheer Van Tets as it is early to ripen and it produces heavy crops and has an RHS award of garden merit. A bare root currant bush can be bought at garden centres or online, DIY stores or supermarkets, and are reasonably priced. The reason they are cheaper compared to potted plants is because they are lightweight and therefore transport costs are low. As mentioned before, they won't have soil around the roots and will be quite light and easy to handle. The roots will normally be wrapped in a polythene bag like this to prevent them from drying out. You need to keep them in a bag until the bush is planted either in a container or in the ground. If you cannot plant straight away, examine the roots when you get home or when you receive the delivery. If it is at all dry, soak the roots in water. Then leave the bag on the roots and keep it in a cold place such as a shed or an outhouse. Remember, only remove the bag just prior to planting. You will have to soak again in water prior to planting. Preparation before planting. You should plant bare root redcurrants between November and March. On the packaging for better results, it recommends you should plant within 24 hours of purchase. Before planting, you should remove the packaging and soak the roots in a bucket of water for an hour or so before you do anything else. This is to soak up as much water as possible, allowing the roots to rehydrate before being put into the ground. Remember, a bare root bush is asleep and doesn't have any immediate requirements. First of all, choose a nice sunny spot in your garden to produce a lot of fruit, and also, the more sun the plants get, the sweeter the berries. Make sure the soil is free from weeds and improve it by adding in some compost or manure. Redcurrants are tolerant of quite wide-ranging conditions, but avoid poor drainage. As long as the soil has good drainage but isn't too thin or dry, then the new bushes should do well. Redcurrants prefer the pH to be neutral to slightly acidic. A temporary fix, healing in. If the ground is frozen or waterlogged, you need a temporary place to store your bare root plants. So find a patch of garden you're able to dig, which isn't frozen or waterlogged, and make a trench in it and temporarily plant them, covering them loosely with soil until the weather improves. This is called healing in. If not, a bucket or a pot of compost will do for the time being. Heeling in is a technique for storing bare root fruit plants if you are unable to plant them right away. How to plant. Once you've decided upon your sunny location and ready to plant, you need to dig a hole big enough to accommodate the roots comfortably without causing damage. Then place the plant in the hole, spreading out the roots in the hole so they sit comfortably, and then backfill with soil. The level where the plant sat in the soil before can be seen where the dark wood of the roots meets the paler stem above the ground. Aim for this. Cover the roots of the plant and firm down the soil and water in well. Your new bushes after transplanting will then wake up in the spring. How to care for red currants. Keep the plants free from weeds and water well during sunny periods. Mulch around the roots with compost to stop weeds and keep the moisture in. You need to prune once a year between December and early March when the plant is dormant. Red currant bushes produce a lot of fruit on 2 to 3 year old stems. So don't prune until they are over 3 years old. If you do, you will be pruning away productive wood. After 3 years and after this, prune to ground level all stems which are older than 3 years old, and prune any weak or damaged stems down to healthy wood. You will also need to cover the bushes with netting to protect the currants from birds. What to expect? Jonkheer Van Tets is one of the earliest red currant varieties to ripen, and it will produce heavy crops of sweet-tasting red berries on long strigs from early July. It will reach a maximum height and spread of 1.5 metres, so space out the plants accordingly. This plant is deciduous, so it will lose all its leaves in autumn, and then fresh new foliage appears again in spring. Conclusion. Red currants are easy to grow, hardy and require very little maintenance, so if you want some fresh picked summer fruits from your garden, then choose a red currant bush.